Vasily I Dmitriyevich, Russian, the 30th of December 1371, the 27th of February 1425, was the Grand Prince of Moscow, r. 1389, 1425, heir of Dmitry Donskoy, r. 1359, 1389. He ruled as a Great Horde vassal between 1389–1395, and again in 1412–1425. Mongol emir Timur's raid on the Volgan regions in 1395 resulted in the Golden Horde's state of anarchy for the next years and the independence of Moscow. In 1412, Vasily reinstated himself as the Horde's vassal. He had entered an alliance with the Grand Duchy of Lithuania in 1392 and married Vytautas the Great's only daughter Sophia, though the alliance turned out to be fragile, since Vytautas would later capture Vyazma and Smolensk in 1403–1404. Vasily was the oldest son of Dmitry Donskoy and Grand Princess Eudoxia, daughter of Grand Prince Dmitry Konstantinovich of Nizhny Novgorod. Vasily I continued the process of unification of the Russian lands. In 1392, he annexed the principalities of Nizhny Novgorod and Murom. Nizhny Novgorod was given to Vasily by the Khan of the Golden Horde in exchange for the help Moscow had given against one of his rivals. In 1397–1398 Kaluga, Vologda, Veliki Ustug and Komi people's lands were annexed. To prevent Russia from being attacked by the Golden Horde, Vasily I entered into alliance with the Grand Duchy of Lithuania in 1392 and married Sophia of Lithuania, the only daughter of Vytautas the Great. The alliance turned out to be fragile, since Vytautas would later capture Vyazma and Smolensk in 1403–1404. Mongol emir Timur raided the Slavic lands in 1395. He ruined the Volgan regions but did not penetrate so far as Moscow. Timur's raid was of service to the Russian prince as it damaged the Golden Horde, which for the next 12 years was in a state of anarchy. During the whole of this time no tribute was paid to the Khan, Ulugmok Samat, though vast sums of money were collected in the Moscow treasury for military purposes. In 1408 Eudoxia burnt Nizhny Novgorod, Gorodets, Rostov, and many other towns but failed to take Moscow, though he had still burnt it. In 1412, however, Basil found it necessary to pay the long-deferred visit of submission to the Horde. The growing influence of Moscow abroad was underlined by the fact that Vasily married his daughter Anna to Emperor John VIII Palaeologus of Byzantium. During his reign, feudal land ownership kept growing. With the growth of princely authority in Moscow, feudals' judicial powers were partially diminished and transferred to Vasily's deputies and heads of volosts. Russian, East Slavic chronicles speak of a monk, Lazar the Serb, newly arrived from Serbia, inventing and building a clock on a tower in the Grand Prince's palace in Moscow behind the Annunciation Church at the request of Vasily I. In 1404, it was the first ever mechanical clock in Russia, and also the country's first public clock. It was among the first 10 such advanced clocks in Europe, and was regarded a technical miracle at the time.